The wind howled like a hungry wolf, whipping around the mausoleum headstones as it made its way through the village graveyard. The old cemetery was filled with gnarled, twisted trees that clawed at the sky, their bare branches resembling the arms of skeletons dancing in the darkness. Overhead, the moon had hidden its face behind a thick blanket of clouds, leaving the world below in an inky black void where shadows stretched long and menacing, and every whisper of the wind sent shivers down your spine. But fear had no place here tonight. For on this night, the veil between the living and the dead was at its thinnest, and spirits roamed free. And one young man named Rafik was about to find out just how true that was. Rafik was a student who lived on the outskirts of town. He was heading home from a late-night study session with some friends, and as the clock tower chimed midnight, he decided to take a shortcut through the graveyard. It wasn't the smartest idea, but then again, he hadn't really thought things through. In his defense, there were no streetlights, and the wrought iron gates at either end of the cemetery were locked, forcing him to clamber over the high stone wall to escape as he crept between the rows of headstones. The crunch of gravel beneath his shoes was the only sound that broke the eerie silence. But that silence was about to be shattered. For a moment, he heard a whisper, a barely audible murmur that sent a chill down his spine. At first, he thought it was the wind playing tricks on him, but then he heard it again, his name being called, not by the wind, but by something underneath the ground. "Ra! Thick!" rasped a voice, and with it, the earth trembled. A low growl rumbled beneath his feet, as if something ancient and evil was stirring in its slumber. Fear tightened its icy grip around his heart, squeezing the breath from his lungs. His mind screamed at him to run, to get as far away from that sound as possible. But his feet were rooted to the spot, his eyes wide with terror as he watched the ground before him heave and shudder. Then, as if the earth itself was tearing apart, a gaping fissure opened up right at his feet. From its depths, something clawed its way out, dragging itself closer and closer, its form coalescing out of the shadows. And as it emerged fully into the light, Rafik's worst nightmares were confirmed. It was a creature from beyond the grave, an abomination that defied the laws of nature. Its skin was a patchwork of decaying flesh and bone, held together by sinew and shadow. Its eyes burned with an otherworldly green fire, and its mouth, a cavern of sharp teeth and dripping fangs, split open in a silent snarl. But that wasn't even the worst of it! From the creature's back sprouted twisted branches that scraped against the stones. And from those branches dangled what looked like human hearts, still faintly beating, still faintly warm. It moved closer, its skeletal fingers reaching out towards him. And he could see more clearly the grotesque parody of a human face, contorted in a silent scream. And then, with a voice that sounded like nails scraping down a chalkboard, it spoke. "Ra, Thick, I've been waiting for you." And with that, the creature lurched forward, its skeletal fingers closing around his ankle and digging its filthy nails into his skin. Rafik screamed and tried to pull away, but the creature's grip was like iron. It dragged him down, down into the darkness of the grave, down into the cold, damp earth. He struggled against the suffocating darkness, flailing wildly until his fingers brushed against something solid. He grabbed onto it, pulling himself up. Gasping for breath, he scrambled away as fast as he could, not daring to look back. As he ran blindly, the whispers grew louder, taunting him, telling him to come back, promising him that they would show him the secrets of the graveyard if he would just return. But he didn't listen. He couldn't bring himself to look back, to see what exactly was waiting for him in the graveyard. But sometimes, when the wind is just right and the moon is hidden away, the villagers say they can hear the whispers still calling his name. They say that on nights like that, the earth trembles and the creature stirs in its grave, waiting for its next victim, waiting for whoever dares to walk through the graveyard alone at night.